Welcome, everyone, and thanks so much for jumping right into this explainer with me. Today, we are unpacking a seriously fascinating, incredibly cinematic story. We're exploring a tale that brilliantly weaves together childhood curiosity, pure courage, and hidden cultural heritage. Just picture this. You've got a vibrant, sun-drenched village, complete with rustic mud houses and golden wheat fields swaying in the warm afternoon light. And right at the center of it all, two highly curious kids, a mysterious river, and a forgotten village secret just waiting to be uncovered. Let's dive in and see how a simple spark of wonder can literally revitalize an entire community.
You know, every great adventure usually begins with a rumor, right? Our story kicks off with Rohan absolutely practically buzzing with excitement, turning to his friend Mira and saying, "Mira, I heard that in the old forest across the river there are strange sounds." And Mira, equally intrigued, chimes in that her grandmother actually saw mysterious lights glowing in that exact same water. For these two, this isn't just some spooky campfire story to shrug off. It is the ultimate call to action. They don't just want to wonder about this mystery, they want to solve it. But they're smart kids, so they know they shouldn't just run off completely unprepared.
So, that brings us to Chapter 1, The Mysterious River. Let's look at how their journey actually kicks off. Before crossing over into the complete unknown, Rohan and Mira make a super wise decision. They head over to the rustic wooden porch of the village elder, Baba Nandan, to seek his guidance. Baba Nandan warns them that, for years, literally no one who went to investigate the river ever returned with the full story. But Rohan is determined. He stands tall, insisting they aren't afraid. Seeing their bravery, Baba Nandan actually gives them his blessing. But, and this is a massive but, he adds one absolutely strict condition: they must return before the sun sets. Just like that, a ticking clock is introduced to our story, really ramping up the tension.
The physical journey unfolds beautifully. First, they leave the safety of those warm, sunlit mud houses. Next, they are playfully crossing massive golden wheat fields with their loyal dog Chotu happily bounding right ahead of them. But pretty quickly, the tone starts to shift. Chotu suddenly stops dead in his tracks. They spot these strange, unrecognizable footprints in the soft mud. Finally, they transition completely out of the known world of their village, stepping into a wild, ancient, maze-like bamboo grove where the light filters down in these really eerie green hues.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, The Submerged Temple. Let's see what they actually discover out there. Emerging from that dense bamboo grove, they immediately face a major obstacle: a super old, creaking wooden bridge suspended over the flowing river. With cautious steps, they bravely make their crossing, and once they hit the sandy riverbank on the other side, Mira spots it, a shimmering, unmistakable underwater glow. As they wade carefully into the shallow, rippling water, the silhouette of a massive structure begins to take shape. It's breathtaking. They have stumbled upon a half-sunken ancient temple, complete with moss-covered stone archways hidden right beneath the surface of the river. The legends were actually 100% real. Wading through the green-blue filtered light of the temple entrance, they step into the dim interior. And it's here, in a shadowy corner, that Mira spots something hidden. She calls out, "Rohan, look over there! It's an old chest!" You can really feel the sheer thrill of their discovery here. Rohan pries the rusted latch open with all his might, and inside, waiting in the dark for who knows how many years, they find something incredible. Inside that chest are two very distinct, very important items. First, a weathered, ancient map. This right here represents the rich historical and geographical roots of their ancestors. And sitting right next to it, a beautifully ornate carved bell, shimmering as it catches a stray beam of light through the cracked ceiling. This bell is a masterpiece of craftsmanship and cultural tradition. They are absolutely marveling at this shared discovery when, suddenly, the atmosphere drastically changes. Which brings us to Chapter 3. Storm and Rescue. The pacing is about to really speed up here. The shafts of light in the temple suddenly vanish. Distant thunder rumbles, and nature turns completely against our young heroes. Dark clouds roll in, and heavy rain just starts pouring down. Mira notices with sheer panic that the river water is rushing faster and rising incredibly rapidly around the submerged stones. Without hesitating, Rohan grabs the heavy wooden chest, clutching it tightly to his chest, and they desperately splash out of the flooding ruins into knee-deep water. It's a frantic race against time as they slip and slide through the mud, trying to get back to that wooden bridge. They actually make it to the swaying bridge, but the river is violently raging beneath them at this point. Suddenly, a loud crack. The wood just completely splits. The bridge gives way. Rohan and Mira are left terrified, arms trembling as they cling for dear life to the remaining broken planks and rope railings, stranded entirely above a rushing torrent of water. They're yelling for help, but the massive storm is just drowning them out entirely.
Now this is where the unsung hero of our story really steps up. Chotu, the dog, who was waiting near the riverbank, realizes his friends are in deadly peril. Ears flattened against the heavy rain, paws splashing frantically through the deep mud, Chotu turns and sprints at absolute full speed back toward the village. The bravery and loyalty here are just incredible. He reaches Baba Nandan's porch, desperately scratching at the door and barking to raise the alarm. Baba Nandan takes one look at the distressed dog tugging at his sleeve in the pouring rain and understands immediately. Rushing out into the village street, he shouts for everyone to come quickly because the children are trapped at the river. This right here is an amazing moment of community power. The villagers do not hesitate for a second. They grab lanterns, thick ropes, and sticks, rallying together into the dark, stormy night.
The rescue itself happens in a flash. Through the pouring rain, the warm, bobbing lights of the villagers' lanterns finally appear on the riverbank, bringing immediate hope. Baba Nandan, with total focus, hurls a thick rope through the storm, shouting for the kids to grab hold. Rohan and Mira grab on, and with a massive, coordinated physical effort, the entire village pulls them safely onto the muddy bank. It all culminates in this incredibly emotional, exhausted embrace. The children are safe. But remember, they didn't return empty-handed. So, let's look at Chapter 4, The Lost Festival, where we transition from a story of survival to one of restoring tradition.
As the rain eases into a soft drizzle, and they are safely back in the warm glow of the village center, Rohan proudly presents the old wooden chest. Under the flickering lantern light, Baba Nandan carefully unfolds the map and holds up the gleaming bell. He is absolutely astonished. He realizes instantly what they are looking at, exclaiming that this is the very same old map and bell they'd all heard about in the old stories. The map didn't just point to treasure, it literally belonged to the ancestors who founded their very village. So what was the bell actually for? Well, it turns out it was the centerpiece of the Nadi Utsav, or the River Festival. This was an ancient, beautiful annual celebration of gratitude to the river that had just slowly been forgotten and lost to time. For decades, that ornate bell sat quietly beneath the water, just waiting to be found again.
And suddenly, the puzzle perfectly locks together. Mira realizes that the rumors that started this whole adventure are solved. The strange sounds from the forest, that was just the river flowing through the temple ruins and moving the bell. The mysterious glowing lights, just the sun reflecting off the bell's ornate surface beneath the water. The mystery is totally demystified, but instead of being let down, the village is absolutely overjoyed. Because of this, Baba Nandan proposes a brilliant idea. Why not celebrate the Nadi Utsav once again? The village erupts in cheers. The very next morning brings bright daylight and this beautiful communal effort. Everyone pitches in. Rohan and Mira are tying up colorful cloth streamers, hanging flower garlands, setting up lights. The entire village is united by this shared history, eagerly preparing for the festival's grand return.
And this brings us to our heartwarming, cinematic conclusion. Dusk settles over the riverbank, painting the sky in these gorgeous golden-orange hues. Glowing lanterns reflect on the gentle surface of the water. Baba Nandan stands before the joyful crowd, holding the polished bell high. With closed eyes and immense pride, he rings it. Its sound resonates warmly through the starry night air, completely restoring the lost river festival. The villagers dance, Chotu barks playfully, and Rohan and Mira share a proud, quiet smile. They didn't just find an artifact, you guys, they found their heritage. So, the crucial point we should all take away from this explainer isn't just about a fun adventure in the woods. It's about looking really closely at our own surroundings. Every single community, every town, has forgotten stories beneath the surface, much like that sunken temple. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. What ancient story in your own village or city is just waiting to be heard again? Keep your curiosity alive, ask questions, and who knows what beautiful traditions you might help restore. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me, and I'll catch you next time.